Well, I'm on the Merthyr Tydfil train from Cardiff, which takes an hour, £5. It's just a little branch line, I think. I got the mega bus from Victoria to Cardiff. That was £22 now, because basically you're going to have the seat next to you as well empty, so that all the prices have gone up, but it's still cheap, £22. Yeah, so I'm going to head now towards Merthyr Tydfil. I'm going to spend the night in Merthyr Tydfil because it's getting late, so I'll get a hotel, and then I shall make my way to Penifan tomorrow after breakfast. I think the weather's fine. It's going to be a little bit rainy, I think, on and off over the weekend. Sunday's going to be good, but I'm on my way back by Sunday, so yeah, just 2 days up there camping. So I'll speak to you when I get to Merthyr Tydfil. Speak to you later. Bye. Well, here we are on the ascent to Penifan. Although the weather's going to be bad today, forecast to be heavy rain most of the day, a lot of people still here coming out. I thought it'd be quiet today, but it looks like it's not going to be. But hey ho, everybody's out. So the plan is to get to the top, camp overnight, walk along the ridge, camp again tomorrow night, and then back to Merthyr Tydfil in the morning. We'll see how it goes. It has said that there would be thunderstorms tonight, thunder and lightning. I'm not happy about that, but we'll see. We'll get back to you again when we get a little bit further up the hill. I am surprised about the weather forecast, and there's people coming up here. It's each to their own, but in jeans and pumps, although they do have a raincoat on, but some of them don't even have that. And the weather's going to be torrential rain and it's cold. So, you know, if you're going to come here, at least come prepared. There's a couple just gone up in front of me in 2 little puffer jackets and pumps and jeans. Good luck to them. I'll speak to you again when we get a little bit further up the hill. Now, I didn't know there was a valley. I thought it was up and up and up. No, there's a valley. And then, that's where the fun begins, up there. I don't think it's going to clear. Hopefully it does, because the views are going to be absolutely outstanding. But we'll see. Keep our fingers crossed, we might get a window. Not so many people today. Well, someone's in trouble then. So it landed about 20 minutes and taken off again, so obviously there was an incident, but not right to the top. It was sort of 3/4 of the way up. Near the summit, as you can see, or as you can't see, it is foggy, breezy and rainy. So I found a little spot just there, and I know it's right next to the path, but I don't care. I'm going to set up, and I think I should be alright. And then tomorrow I should go to Penafan tomorrow, which is in that direction, but it is so foggy, which is going to be for the rest of the day until about 6-7 o'clock. Apparently it's going to clear, and I might get some sunset shots. Look, hopefully see what happens. But anyway, I'll set up camp and we'll see what happens. I'll see you in a minute. There it is, set up. I'm sure it's going to hold. I'm going to stick a couple of extra pigs in, just in case. The wind is changing. It was blowing from that side. I've turned it around and it's now blowing from that side. Who knows? It's gone really cold now as well. That wind is turning my fingers blue. But I have every faith in my Hilleberg. It's not as taut as I want it. I'm going to have a little tinkle with it and see if I can tighten it up a little bit more. You don't want it too tight. You need some give when it's going to be windy, but not too much so it's going to collapse. And I don't want to keep getting in and out of the tent in the middle of the night. So, catch you later. I like it for the fact that also when I've got a tent or a bivvy, that I haven't got to get back down the mountain. I can stay up here when everybody else has gone, which is nice. long as you're dry, got the right clothes, you should be fine. It's great. Doesn't matter how much it rains or the wind. If you've got a tent that's going to put up with it, I hope mine does. We'll soon find out by the morning. It should be alright. I don't think, it's not like so there's going to be a hurricane or anything, touch wood. But you know, you have to take those little bits of chances. The only problem I've got, it's not a problem, it's in the back of my mind, is that what I've done, I took a photo for the first time ever in not bringing my bivvy bag. That's my comfort blanket. So if anything does happen, I've got something to crawl in and keep dry until the morning. And I didn't bring it because of the weight. I'm trying to keep it down. And so I've just got the Hilleberg Akto. And I'm hoping that that's good. Well, it will be fine. It's bulletproof. It's going to be fine. It's just when you leave something behind like that, when you've been relying on it for years, and then all of a sudden it's not there, you have a little bit of a panic from the comfort blanket not being there. But I'll be alright. I mean, even if the worst comes to the worst, I've got loads of wet weather gear. You just get into that if the tent collapses. It's just, you know, and you just ride it out until the morning, as long as you don't panic. It's the people that panic that get themselves into trouble. You've just got to stay calm, and it is only a mountain. It's not, you know, you're not going to freeze to death up here in this weather. This was very busy earlier on, and it's only, I don't know, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, no later than that, and I'm on my own, which is nice. I'm not actually going to go to Penafan now. I'm going to do it in the morning. It's over there, it's fog, mist, whatever, clouds, you can't see anything, so there's no point hiking all the way over there when I can go in the morning. I'm fascinated by the drop down there, but you can't see anything. There's the clouds. But maybe later on. Do not throw your banana skins on the mountains. They do not decompose. Well, I think they do, but it takes like 10 years. So please don't do it. I just don't see the point in dumping your rubbish here. And that's not an accident, there's two. And there's some more banana skins over there as well. Absolutely unbelievable. As you can see, I'm in my tent. I don't know whether it's a good idea or not. Oh lordy, lordy. This will be a good test for the Hilleberg. I'm right on top of Penafan, near enough. It says 20 mile/hour winds, but this is more like 60. And it's only 3 o'clock in the afternoon. What do you do? Decisions need to be made. Thing is, I'm quite confident quite confident that this will stand up, but am I that confident when it's 2 in the morning? I don't know. I think it's going to be fine. I'm telling myself. Yeah. Oh no. That ain't good. That ain't good. See, if that was 2 in the morning, I would be crapping myself. To pack up. I don't want to, but I don't think the tent's going to survive this. I'm now seriously considering packing up and going down the mountain. Pain in the neck. What do you do? What do you do? What do you do? The forecast was 10 to 20 mile an hour winds. This is double that. Well, it certainly feels like it in here. Oh dear, what to do? Catch you a little bit later. 20-minute walk. Silence. Bit of a breeze, that's all. But nowhere to camp. Hills everywhere here, just like slopes. But we'll carry on. What a difference. What a pain in the neck. I was looking forward to waking up in the morning up there, watching the sunrise. You know, what can you do? Safety comes first. It's not that I didn't trust the Hilleberg. I do. But when you got that amount of wind, if that collapses at 2 in the morning, and then you wish that you'd have come down. And also what I should have done, like I said I was going to do, is order a spare pole for the Hilleberg. So I had 2 poles up, would have been better. Then I would have slept. I wouldn't have minded then, but there we are. We'll do it again next time. But I think there's a stream down here, so we'll see if I can camp there. And there's also a lake, I think, so we're going to camp there as well before it gets dark, so we're going to have a look. Well, as you can probably hear, it's a lot quieter. It's because I had to come back down the mountain. That wind did bend one of the poles, so I made the right decision, and I'm now in a woodland, still wild camping, but in a woodland, absolutely exhausted. I'm just going to go to bed now, and I'll show you the outside. Everything's damp. My sleeping bag's damp, my clothes are damp, my socks are damp. Everything is not soaking wet, but just damp. A lot of it's sweat, and a lot of it's rain. You can hear that wind again now, the trees. Yeah, I'd hate to have been up there tonight. They said it was going to stop by about 6 o'clock, but it's now 8 o'clock and it's still going. So I'll catch you in the morning. No night. Oh, what a difference a day makes from yesterday. Torrential rain and storm, blue skies. I had to come down the mountain. I was fearing for my tent. It's easy really when it's daylight and think, oh, do you know what, ride it out. But then when it's 2 in the morning and that tent is giving it some welly, and you're thinking like, oh God, if it collapses. That is why I always bring my, what do I always bring? My bivvy bag, and I didn't, and that was the price I paid, because if I had my bivvy bag I would have definitely have stayed, because if the tent failed I'd be inside my bivvy bag anyway. But what a gorgeous place. I am freezing cold and wet. Everything's wet. My coat's wet. Oh, or is it just cold on the inside and it feels wet? My socks are wet. My jumper's wet. Didn't bring enough warm clothing. It's summer. Shouldn't have needed it. There's a lesson learnt there. Oh dear. Right, onwards and upwards. Let's go and get a cup of coffee. I've got the kettle boiling, and I'm in these woods here. I found this purely by chance. This rubbish on the floor is not mine. I was walking along the road towards a campsite. Out of desperation, I walked for miles on the road, and there's 3 youngsters in a car up on the road there, unpacking camping gear, and they camped down there. I camped here on a slope, but I didn't care. Cat was boiled. I'm gonna have a coffee now. Speak to you later. Well, nearly packed away. when I arrived here last night, as much as I wrapped up my sleeping bag, which was in the tent during that storm, I packed it all the way, got down here, it was wet. Not soaking wet, but it was damp. My clothes were damp. So when I got into the tent, it was cold. I mean, your body starts to warm up a bit, but I woke up 2-3 o'clock in the morning, shaking. And then I thought, oh, in my medipack I've got a blanket, a silver blanket. Which I got out. Never used one before. But you know what? It's instant warmth. I wrapped myself up in that in my sleeping bag and then slept like a baby. Absolutely fantastic. I shall get another couple and put in my bag. I've had it in there for 3 years, maybe a bit more. Just sat in there, never in the back, never really needed it. And then, out of the blue, it was there. Get yourself one, fantastic. Right, I'm all packed up, leaving no mess apart from a little or no trace. Any other stuff you see lying around is not mine. People have just been having bits of parties here, whatever, leave the stuff. Sometimes I'll get an empty carrier bag, I pick it up and put it in the rubbish bin down the road. But because of COVID, I've not touched anything. Might be over the top, I don't know, but I thought, like, you know what, I'm not. You never know. So it is what it is, I'm leaving that. Also the same as the stuff that I've seen on the floor up in the mountain. Banana skins and orange peel and crisp packets. Why do they do it? It's not, you can't drop that stuff by accident. But yeah, normally as I'm walking past, I just pick it up, put it in the bag. Even if it's just a couple of 3 bits, but yeah, not now. So there we are. Right, I'm heading off down the road to do what I don't know. Sunny day by the looks of it. I'm going to try and dry some of my clothes off. And my sleeping bag somewhere, don't know. I shall make a decision as I go along. I'll speak to you later. That was an interesting night. Well, interesting day really. It took me a couple of 3 hours to get down the mountain. And then I waited as a bus stop, because I went by public transport, as you know. So I waited for a bus, which there was one at 6:30. And I waited 1.5 hours, 2 hours. And that bus just didn't come. I don't think there was any buses. So I started walking along the dual carriageway. It was getting darker. I walked for about another 2 hours. I had half hour, maybe light left. And in the lay-by, there was a car. And there was 3 youngsters there, teenagers, students, unloading the car. And they were going down a bank. And I asked them, I said, are you wild camping? They said, yes, there's a little spot in this little woodland here by the reservoir. So they said, if you go right, there's a little camping spot there, we're going to go left, and that's what happened. Major result. So then the next morning, I then started to walk towards Merthyr Tydfil, and I walked probably for 4 hours, no buses. And then I came to a junction, and there was a T14 bus came along, but the only one for the day. Took me to Merthyr Tydfil. And no hotels, fully booked, no campsites, all fully booked. So it was a bit of a mission. So I was going to stay another night, but that was not possible. I just couldn't get anywhere. In Cardiff itself, I thought, you know what, it's an hour's down the road, go to Cardiff, book into a hotel, then come back, then spend another night and find somewhere online first to wild camp. But even in Cardiff, it was fully booked. This is the staycation, and you couldn't even get a campsite. All my clothes were wet, my sleeping bag was wet, everything was wet. I don't know, and I don't even know how that happened, because I got dry bags and stuff, and I got a rucksack cover. But yeah, it is what it is. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I enjoyed the experience. I tried to find the tolerance of the tent. I bottled it a little bit. I put my hand up, and I have to say, when the tent was bending so low it's touching my face, I'm thinking that is not safe, especially when it gets to like 2 in the morning. And then you got problems at 2 in the morning if your tent fails, because I didn't have my bivvy bag. So I thought, don't be stupid, just for the filming, get down that mountain. And there's nowhere there even halfway down to camp, because everywhere was just bog. So yeah, it was straight back. And if you don't know the area, you're hiding to nothing. So the people that you do see on YouTube camping in those mountains, they've been there a few times, I suspect, and they know where they're going to go, maybe. But I tried to find somewhere and I just couldn't. Not lower down anyway, out of that wind. But there we go. I hope you enjoyed the film. Please subscribe and press that little bell so you get notifications of the next video. And thank you very much for watching. Stay safe.